Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 16 of the Showbound podcast presented by Axel Watches. I'm your host, Michael Raskin, once again joined by Ethan Cardwell. Cardsy, what's going on, dude?
Not too much. It's a little late here now. My team has a week off here, so we're not playing any games till next Sunday or this coming Sunday. Sorry, but no, just kind of relaxing week. But really tired today. Had a long day, so gonna hit the sheets soon.
What are you get up to today? I saw you guys were cooking up some fancy looking food on your Snap story there.
Yeah, we're big TikTok guys, and we're always watching TikTok at the house. So
You're
we
so
saw
cool.
we saw that was it the feta pasta.
Yeah.
So we just got the feta cheese with the tomatoes and made our homemade sauce, and then some bow tie pasta, and it was an elite dinner. So I ate a few more plates than I should have, and now I'm feeling it and just in food coma. So I'm gonna be in bed here soon.
Yeah, you're looking pretty chubby, man. Like, I don't know what it is, but you just.
Six pack abs.
We got a good episode this week, Cards. I mean, yesterday we had the interview with Phil Maillet. God, I almost actually I nailed his name there, but I was having trouble pronouncing his name at the beginning of the interview. We had to do a couple takes with him. He's a beauty though. This guy just played his first game with the Washington Capitals at the age of 28. He had a unique route to the NHL, playing 4 years at the University of New Brunswick in Usports, and he shares a story of overcoming a lot of obstacles and making it to the NHL despite taking an uncommon path. So that's an exciting interview that we'll send to you guys soon. And some funny NHL news I wanted to bring up, Cards. And the Dallas Stars and Nashville Predators have postponed 2 games due to a snowstorm in Dallas. Have you seen this?
Yeah, it's a bit absurd. Also, I just want to take it back. That
Yeah.
little read you did on Phil kind of sounded like, I don't know, when you read the back of like a book or something and they're trying to make it seem like it's really dramatic and stuff. And it almost seemed like I was either seeing like a little preview for a movie or the back of a book.
It could be a movie with his journey. Who knows if he ends up in the Hall of Fame? That's movie material.
Yeah, 100%. So stay tuned for that. We'll give it another, I guess, 8 years, and then we'll come back to that one. But no, a little bit outrageous by Dallas.
Did you see
Over
the pictures
panic.
of the snow? It wasn't even a lot.
Yeah, no, it's not bad, but they don't know what to do. Their
Yeah,
cars and stuff aren't ready for it.
the whole city was in like shutdown and stuff. Everyone was in panic. Like it's going a little crazy over there. It's just pretty funny.
Send a few Canadians down there to help them out, maybe.
Yeah, I wonder what Delhi's doing. Probably just like making snow angels and stuff. He's used to it. But
That's hilarious. Yeah, I wonder what it's like for him. These people are freaking out. He's like, well, this is an average day in April.
yeah.
Like,
I also want to shout out my buddy talking about NHL news, Logan Thompson, former goalie at Brock that I had there on my team. He got his first call up to the Vegas Golden Knights. So just shout out to LT. Like he's a guy we're gonna have on the pod down the road, and exciting time for him.
yeah, and I want to touch on a few other things here. I know Q got his first goal. We had Byfield on the pod, and Zooks got his first pro point, and Fets just scored last night and in his first period. So the list goes on, and I mean it's Tippett's birthday today too. So cheers to him, and he scored
I was
last
gonna
night,
say
first of
I
the year.
saw that he scored last night. Like all the guys on the pod are doing well, and you yourself are having a good season. Maybe something good gonna happen to me soon. Who knows?
Stay patient. Once you make it back up to that league, I don't even know what it's called, but the league you were going to, and then you'll be over a point per game. Just be buzzing now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll send it over the interview, but before we do, I just want to say that support for the Showbound podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Big news, Manscaped just released their new cologne scent to help you feel good and smell good all over and at all times. Who knew smelling this good could feel this good too? Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all your below the waist grooming needs. They sent us the cologne we're talking about here, and actually I've been using it. I mean, I don't really go out, as we know, with what's going on in Ontario, but it gives me the confidence to kind of strut around the house knowing that I smell like a beauty. So I know yours is waiting for you when you get back home, Cards. Maybe it'll help you out too. Those glasses aren't doing you any favors.
Yeah, no, the glasses aren't helping. Just it's tough, man. Like I like to read novels where I learn at night, so I need to see to read. But just getting smarter at every minute of the day pretty much sums up myself. But no, yeah, the cologne really helps too. So I can be like maybe I can rock like the nerdy guy look and then have a little spice with a nice scent. We'll
Yeah,
see.
maybe you can rock the turtleneck, look like Matt James, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Anyway, everyone knows Manscaped has the perfect package 3.0 for all your below the waist grooming needs, but they didn't stop there. Complete your grooming game with the new refined cologne signature scent by Manscaped. With the same signature scent that's in all Manscaped formulas, this cologne is a perfect complement to the collection. Light, approachable, and gentlemanly in all the right ways. Think of it as your wingman for the night to keep you fresh and ready for anything. Calming and inviting, this signature scent introduces a light citrus burst before settling into the anchoring notes of vetiver and a woodsy masculine finish. This 50 milliliter spray cologne is even hypoallergenic, cruelty free, dye free, paraben free, and 100% vegan. This beautifully designed glass bottle makes a statement, and the manly scent is attractive to set the mood. Also, be sure to check out the Perfect Package 3.0 with all the essentials for your below the waist grooming needs, including the Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer and crop formulations. Yes, I'm talking about ball deodorant and toner to keep your testes besties. And now you can use the new Manscaped Refined Cologne to complete your set and smell great anytime, anywhere. It's time to feel sexy. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SHOWBOUND at manscaped.com. Your balls and body will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SHOWBOUND at manscaped.com. Look good, smell good, feel good with Manscaped. I just also wanted to say, Cards, I was going to point it out at the beginning, but take a look at my sweater here.
Ew, yeah. Well, we're doing ads right now, so we might as well plug ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, I'm
Ras just
rocking for the audio listeners, I'm rocking the Showbound hoodie. I'll just show it off to the camera. We put these up and they're on the Instagram. You can message for information. But yeah, I got mine in. I know someone ordered 9 cards. There was one order of 9.
9 of them.
That wasn't your family, was it?
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, that's pretty cool. So shout out to whoever that was. But
Maybe it. I think they might have been actually. That makes sense. Like there's a lot of family members. I don't know, but and they were asking about them, but I
yeah.
don't know. Maybe if it was my family, other families should probably follow suit then, right?
Yeah, if everyone orders 9, then that's like the least you can do, I think.
Yeah, that'd be like the littlest favor ever. I think everyone should be ordering 9 bare minimum. 15 would be like ideal though.
So on the topic of ads, last week we did the Axel. We said we're going to be doing an Axel Watch giveaway, and I just want to let the listeners know that at the end of the episode, I'll be announcing the winner of that. And with that being said, we'll send it over to Phil Maillet. All right, we're pleased to be joined now by Phil Maillet, someone whose name I've had trouble pronouncing already. But Phil, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm fired up about this one. You're in Pittsburgh right now, right?
Yeah, we're on the road between 2 games.
Okay. Do you have roommates on the road now with the COVID protocols or no?
No, we're just everybody has their own room.
Okay.
I'm not sure how it works in the NHL before COVID, but yeah, it's just no room. I know in the American League we have roommates, but I don't think we get any roommates right now with COVID, anyways.
Yeah, well, that's not bad, man. You get your own space. So I want to just kind of tell the listeners what's been going on with you and why I'm so excited to have you on, and then we'll kind of take it back throughout your career. But you're 28 years old and you just played your first NHL game, I guess, a week or 2 weeks ago almost now, and you're a guy who's kind of taken a path that isn't so common in the sense where you played your major junior, but then ended up going to school, played in Usports, graduated, and went that way, and something not a lot of people have done. So it's really cool. And myself, as the listeners know, being like a Usports guy, I'm excited to kind of hear a success story like that and have you on. And I guess I want to talk about the game a lot to begin here. So first of all, when did you find out you were going to get in a game? Like, how did that conversation go down?
It happened really quick. So I guess the day before our game against Philly, some guys didn't feel well. Someone had this back was hurting, and I showed up to the rink. I was on the taxi squad, and then I showed up to the rink that day, and I was the 4th line center. So like you just see the lineup posted up. So I'm like, okay, you don't want to get too excited because there's so many things that can happen. But I'm just like, all right, well, I'm gonna practice with the big squad now and see how it goes. And then after practice, they told me like you're gonna like be ready. You're probably gonna play, like depending on what happens with some of these guys, but we're gonna text you like in the afternoon just so you can tell your family if everything. So I was getting excited, but at the same time you don't want to get too disappointed if it doesn't happen. But yeah, I got the text in the afternoon, and they told me like, tell your family congrats and, you know, enjoy. And yeah, when I got that text, I was like, all right, this is happening. So just it's the next 24 hours going to be wild for sure.
Were you just like, were you nervous at all, or was it all excitement?
I was a little bit nervous, but I've, like you said, I'm 28 years old. So I've been thinking about that moment for a while now. And, you know, I played over 200 games in the American League. So I like to think I was ready for it. And it was definitely more excitement than just being nervous. You know, I did what I had to do and I was ready for it. So yeah, definitely I had a little bit hard time falling asleep at night. And I was lucky enough, it was a noon game. So, you know, you just pretty much wake up and go to the rink and play. Like you don't have to pregame nap or think about it all day long. So just got right into it. And, you know, I was happy how it went.
Yeah, and I saw that video. I actually posted on the Instagram of you kind of doing the rookie lap there. How did that feel, like skating out? You know, you hit the ice for warm-ups all by yourself. What's going through your head there?
I was just gearing up for warm up, and I was just like waiting by the end of the tunnel, you know, guys routine and their handshakes. So I was just, you know, trying not to get in the way. And then Wilson told Ovi it was my first game, so it was like, yeah, you're gonna go for a twirl. And it was fun. It kind of took my nerves away. Just like, you know, hit the ice and then, you know, just have fun with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then, and just how'd the game go for you? I know, like, did you get a decent amount of ice or any good chances?
Yeah, I want to say my first couple of shifts were kind of, I was just trying to, you know, get my head into it. I didn't play a game since last March when it all shut down in the American League. So definitely like they got the heartbeat pumping early in the game. But, you know, after first few shifts, I thought I played a solid game. I was just trying to skate as hard as I could and, you know, not make turnovers and go hard on the forecheck. I think I played like 8 minutes, got 11, 12 shifts. So like, you know, if you don't get on the special teams, it's hard to, you know, get a consistent shift. But I was happy. Like I didn't expect anything, and I was happy with the way he used me. And every time he was calling my name, I was just ready to hop on.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just must have been a surreal moment out there for sure. But we're going to send it back to your junior career, even before Usports. And you played 4 years in Victoriaville in the QMJHL. Three of those 4 years, you were over a point per game. And then in your final year with 83 whopping points in 65 games, which was an incredible year there. So can you kind of just run us through your first taste of junior hockey and then your first or your 4 years at in Victoriaville?
Yeah. So my first year, I was drafted in the USHL as well. So I was kind of debating. That's why I kind of dropped in the Q draft. I got drafted the 7th round, but I had like a really, really good midget AAA year. And yeah, so I didn't go to the training camp, my 17-year-old in Victo. I just kind of was looking for my options if I want to go to college. But then I pretty much starting lighting it up as a 17 in midget. And then I was like, okay, well, I might have to make the jump. And then called the GM in Victo, and he was like, yeah, come, we'll make room for you. So but it was tough. It was a tough adjustment. You know, they didn't even get a training camp. And then we had a really good team that year. So we made a playoff run. We had like 7 or 8 NHL draft picks. So I was kind of out in and out of the lineup, 4th line guy. So, but I ended up having really good playoffs. I think I had 3 goals all year, and then I ended up with 6 in the playoffs. So it kind of set me up for my draft year, which was my 18-year-old year. And then from that point, I was like top 2 lines, first power play, and then so I had a really good career in the Q, I want to say, but a lot of up and downs. You know, go on a lot of point streak and then get cold. Back then I was young, and you know, sometimes you think you're better than you are, and it's been a long process for me to learn really. I kind of figured out how to really work and stuff when I got to UNB, but before that, it was just more of hot streaks and then cold streak. I think my 19-year-old year, I started the year with like 11-3, and then it was just, then I went 10 games in a row without a point. And you know, it's not all about points, but if you're an undersized player like me, obviously you kind of need those, because they don't really look for you for your physical play or anything like that. But I had some good years. I had a good coach. He pushed me. Sometimes I didn't like it, but I knew it was, looking back, I knew it was the best for me. I had the same coach as, I don't know if you mentioned it, but I had the same coach as Hendricks.
Yeah,
Now
we talked to him about it.
Yeah, we had the same coach. So yeah, some good moments, some good playoffs upset, like when we weren't favorites. So yeah, it was good. And then, like you said, my 20-year-old year, I had a really good season again, and then broke my ankle last game of playoffs. So that's how I ended my career and needed surgery. So it was kind of tough pill to swallow. And then I had to get ready for the Vancouver Canucks camp as a 21-year-old, and I was pretty much doing all summer just doing some rehab, and then skated like 3 weeks before camp. And not to make excuses, but it was tough to get it going. And then that's when I jumped to UNB.
Yeah, and we were just kind of going to take it into UNB now, and maybe we actually had written down your decision to go to Usports. So I'm assuming that injury played a big role in your decision, and maybe your game was like a little bit rusty coming back. So is that why you went the Usports route?
Yeah, well, it's a funny story. So I went to the rookie tournament in Vancouver in September, and then they didn't invite me to the AHL camp. So because usually, like, let's say if you don't make it to the main camp for the Canucks, you just get sent down to the American League and move on from there. But I didn't get invited, so I had to find the East Coast tryout, which I did. My agent sent me to Ontario, California. That's where the East Coast was back then. So, and then I got cut from the East Coast.
No way.
So like after a week there, I'm cut. So I'm not even on the team anymore. And then I don't know where to go. So I'm just sitting in the hotel in California. And back then I didn't speak good English really. So I'm just like, okay, what's going on? And I pretty much for 5 days, I'm ordering pizza and then just trying to eat, and then call my agent every day, like, what's going on? And then like 4 or 5 days later, I get the phone call from Gardner McDougall, who became my coach at UNB. And Gardner, if you guys know him a little bit,
I've met him actually a few times.
He's a big legend in the Canadian university hockey. And usually when he tries to recruit guys, let's say I didn't get the chance to meet him in person, but I know he brings the rings, like the championship rings, and he balls out. And that's pretty much what he did with me on the phone. He's like, listen, we just won a national championship the year before, and like, we really want you, and we're a great program, and we're going to make a really good hockey player out of you. And I was like, okay, well, the timing can't be any better. I just want to get out of here and move on. So like, I think he called me, and then a day later I was back home, and then another day later I was in Fredericton, and I was there for 4 years.
Yeah, and we had written down what the recruiting process was going to be like, but that pretty much sums that up, I guess. My quick no-brainer for you there, but I'll let Rask take it away from there.
Yeah, just like I want to talk about your time at UNB here. I just want to list off kind of your Usports awards here, a few of the many, but so, you dominated in your 4 years, but you got AUS Rookie of the Year, you were AUS MVP twice, you were the U Cup MVP, most points in all of Usports your final year, and you have 2 national championships. Like, and then there was a lot of other awards too, like so many first team all-stars and stuff, but you lit it up. And so I went to UNB the year after you were gone with Brock. We went to the national championship, and it was there. So I got to see the rink. Beautiful, by the way, like, and it was packed for the national championship too. I'm not sure how it is for regular games, but I know you guys get good fans, and just an awesome experience, like a beautiful campus. The city was great. Like, we were in Fredericton for over a week, and it was an awesome time. So I can see why any player would want to go there, and why you guys continue to get the best players every year. But what was your adjustment, or not adjustment? Yeah. Adjustment into life as a student, not just a hockey player anymore. Cause I know you had some success, and we'll get into some of the stuff you're doing off the ice as well. But like, how did that go for you when you realized you got to start taking classes again?
Yeah. So I didn't even go to school for my last 2 years of junior. So it was I was just kind of up in the air, and I can't go back on those decisions, but looking back, I probably should have kept going to school a little bit when I was in junior. But when I decided to go back to school, to go to UNB, obviously my parents were really happy about that. And like I said, right now I like to think I speak good English, but back then, like, I was just a French Canadian kid that, I wasn't fluent at all. And then for me going to an English school, it was a good challenge. But, my first year, I think I took probably 3 classes a semester and trying to ease my way into it. And then by the time I didn't end up like graduating, because usually you graduate in 4 years, but after I was going to take 5 years to graduate because I started like too slow. And then I just ended up signing my contract after 4 years. So it was a tough decision because I was there for 4 years and I was like, well, should I go back for 1 more year and finish and then go pro? But then, I had such a great year my 4th year that I was like, well, it's pretty hard to top that. And I put probably too much pressure on myself to try to beat the year I just had. So, and I know the contract was good and I was ready to go pro. And even my coach was like, he wasn't trying to hold me and trying to keep me at school for a 5th year. Like, I think he knew I did what I had to do in this league and was ready to jump forward. But yeah, as the level of hockey, when I got there my first year, like I knew like it was going to be competitive because they're all Q guys or OHL guys that were like pretty much, especially at UNB, like when you jump into practice, we're all guys that went to NHL camps and had
half the teams drafted too.
Yeah. So obviously it's not like that for every team in the league, but like I knew when I got there, like you can see, like you go to Hockey DB and you're trying to get an idea of what's going on there. And I was like, I was pretty impressed. Like guys are 23, 24, 25 years old and they've been around. And so, yeah, it was a quick adjustment for me. My coach, he pretty much put me on the top line right away. So I was kind of lucky. I didn't have to, make my way up and off the depth chart. He kind of just trusted me, like, okay, this guy, he's going to be good for us right away. So, and I guess to my credit, I delivered. But yeah, I was happy of how my first season went, and then the other seasons, couple bumps on the road too there. But I mean, I was getting more mature compared to junior, so I think it helped me a lot.
Yeah, and even just, I mean, I'll mention it again, but when you talk about your decision to leave early and go pro, I mean, you're coming off of leading the entire country in points, and that's obviously an extremely good accomplishment and definitely the right call as you look at yourself now in the NHL. But I want to go like one more thing about UNB, and then we'll keep it moving and talk about your AHL time. But just going to the national championship, the 1 year I went when it was at UNB, like, it was the coolest experience, and we ended up losing in the first game. And if you win that first game, you get the Sportsnet games, and it gets cooler. And I can't even imagine. But the fact that you got to win 2 national championships in those 4 years, like, how does that feel? When you're literally winning every game. I think, did you win the AUS all 4 years as well?
No, my first year we lost. So my first year we had a really good team, like a lot of veterans, and we ended up losing in the semifinal of the AUS. So we didn't even made the trip to the national. And I think that was the first time in like 10 years that you didn't go. And obviously that was like a big kick in the teeth. And I remember, it's a funny story. I remember we lose and then we're out in February, and then we're in school all the way till April, but you're not skating, and you're just like you're partying and not eating well. So I gained a lot. Like I was probably 175 pounds and I went home at like 205. It was like, it didn't go well for me. And then when I for some reason, I couldn't lose that weight in the summer. Like I was training, but it's not the same thing like as you're training for like a pro season and you're there. Like I knew it was my second year and then I had 3-4 more years. So I ended up showing up at the training camp the year after, and I was 200 pounds. And my coach was Gardner was so pissed at me. He wouldn't speak to me for 3 days. I still remember, and he probably, if he sees this, he's going to laugh about it. But the first time he spoke to me is when he saw that I passed the beep test, like the cardio test. Like I was a little heavier, but I was still in shape. And then when he saw like I was in shape to do it, he was like, all right, this guy, he's fine. And then he started talking to me again. But that just shows you like the standard, like at UNB, like they don't fuck around. Like I don't know if I can say.
Yeah, you're good.
Like they expect, it's a national championship every year. Like Gardner, there's so many quotes and like Michael Jordan quotes and Mike Babcock, and just there's so many things about winning championship that it almost like it just gets in your head. Like you just see it every day, and it just like gets into your DNA. And I got to give credit to him. It's like he literally makes a champion out of you. And like you said, like my last year I was at home so we had the national championships at home, and it was just a crazy, crazy feeling. We ended up that year, my second year, we ended up losing in the national championship final. And that was probably one of the worst losses I've ever had in my life, because you work so hard and it's just comes down to one game and then you lose it. And then I remember when we went back to Halifax my third year, we were like, there's just no way we're going to lose this one. And then we ended up winning. And then my fourth year was at home. So it was just like the crowd was amazing. And then, it happened the way it happened. We were pretty solid all tournament. I had a great tournament, but just as a team, like when you like outshot the teams almost 2-1, it's just like you feel in control of the game. And that's pretty much what we did. Yeah, no. And it's like, it's the coolest ring too. You talked about all the things that make you kind of put championship into your DNA. Like, and Cardsy, I have pictures I might show you later, but there's all over the walls, even in the concourse and stuff. It's pictures, it's trophies, it's banners. Like, it's the coolest thing. Even the tunnel, like walking out, you see the NHL players that have come from there, like all these other people. Like, I'm sure, Phil, you're gonna get something too up on the wall. But anyway, one more question, then we'll move it forward. But did you guys play AHL teams in the preseason? Yeah, we did. Well, every year we'd play a couple of teams of NCAA, but like a lot of Usports teams do that. But our coach would always try to find like the best matchup. Like we play Boston College, Harvard, played University of Denver. So like it would be a good game. Obviously, it's an exhibition, but there's some really solid players coming out of NCAA, and we would have some good games, couple wins, couple losses. But we played one game, I think it was my third year, we played the Portland Pirates, and we ended up beating them. So so it was obviously it wasn't their full AHL team, but they're in the AHL training camp, and we beat them. I think it was 5-3 or something. And we were like, obviously we're all guys that have chips on their shoulders. Like it's tough. It's a good league and you're happy to be there, but like you see guys that you've played with or played against that are in the American League, and you're like I should be there. I could be there. And then like once you get a chance to actually play these guys, we probably took it more to heart than them that game. But yeah, we ended up winning. So it was good for the program too. We were fired up.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And then we were just about to talk about the adjustment to the AHL, but I mean, you come from such a cultured program and just winning in your DNA, like you said there, and just beating an AHL team even before taking that step. So what was that step like for you moving up after your 4 years and on to the AHL, where you played 2.5 seasons with the Ontario Reign?
So I got, after, like we win our my fourth year, we win the championship. And then I knew, like during the championship, I was talking with my agent, and he was like, yeah, there's something watching, and, just keep doing what you're doing and things are going to happen well for you. So I ended up signing like 3 days after we win the second championship. I end up signing with the Ontario Reign for the next season, but they tell me that like they want me right now to finish the season. So on a ATO as a tryout. So I'm like, okay, sure. And then I ended up going there a week after we win the championship, I packed my stuff, get my gear, and then it was my first AHL experience. I've never been to a training camp or anything, and then just jumped in practice. And credit to my coach, Mike Stutters. I mean, if you guys don't know him, he's an old school coach, but it's probably one of my favorite coach that I had. I haven't had many coaches, but I love them all. But he definitely had a good impact on my pro career, and he put me in the lineup right away, and I ended up scoring my first goal, my first game in Bakersfield, and then from then I played every game in the regular season to finish the season, and they had me in the lineup for the playoffs. So it was a good start for it gave me a good confidence to start my full first season the next year for sure.
Yeah, and it's definitely a nice feeling when you got your coach on your side and he trusts you to be able to play in all situations and that stuff, especially as a young guy cracking into the league. But Ontario itself, what was your time like there? I know we talked about it with California and just like a good spot. So what was it like living there?
It was great. My first year we were living in Ontario. It's about an hour away from LA. It's just obviously California weather. It's I spent the last 4 winters at UNB, and it's snowstorms and all that. So it was good. And then it was a quick adjustment too, because when you're in new sport, you play 30 game seasons, and then once you jump on the pro, it's 70, and the guys are big and strong, and you gotta work a lot harder, that's for sure. And then I was kind of used to being like the top guy, and then as soon as the power play, I just hop on the ice, and then it's kind of I'm in the zone, I'm leading, and then you go to the pros and everybody's it's a tough league, because everybody, like, you're on the same team, but at the same time you're all competing to get the call up. And sometimes it's you not to be selfish, but like you try to think about your career. But our coach is definitely did a good job to like keep you honest. He's, like I said, he's an old school guy, and if you think you're gonna put your interest in front of the team, he's gonna remind you really quick. So it was good. I really liked the California weather. And then my second year we ended up living in LA, because we would practice at the LA practice facility. So that's when I really lived the LA lifestyle, and it was good. Sometimes it was hard to even focus on hockey because there's so many distractions. And we lived like in Hermosa Beach. It's just one of the best places on earth pretty much. But I like to think I kept my head in hockey, and then I got my deal with Washington after that year.
Yeah, for sure. And can't hate LA living at all. And I'm just going to take it back to how you said, like, everything's so competitive in the A, because you're battling against guys who are all trying to go to the same place. And I have a few buddies who are playing there now because of the CHL kind of shut down right now still because of COVID-19. Mm-hmm. But just how intense are practices in the AHL, and guys just like really willing to do whatever it takes to take the other guy's spot, really?
Yeah. Well, like I said, my coach, I don't know how it is in every team. I'm sure it's a little different, but same thing at the same time. But our coach, he would, like, practices were hard, and you would have to battle. And like, if don't try to get some bad habits, don't turn, like, I mean, we weren't finishing our checks, but like you can turn the puck over pretty much. Like if we do line rushes, you got to make sure you do the right play. And he would scream at you, and he would really keep you on your toes. And I was an older guy, so he gave it to me too. He probably gave it to me more than some young guys, but I feel like sometimes the younger kids, new generation, it's a little harder for them, and it is a little more sugarcoat. But I really liked the way he coached, and he gets, if he doesn't like what you do, he gets in your face. And I think he was a good motivator for me, and we had some good years. Beside my last year, it was tougher. We had a really young group. So, but yeah, like the battle, the way in practice, you can't really take a day off, or you can't just go on cruise control for a week or two, because the guy that's not in the lineup, he wants your spot, and the guy that's not on the power play, he wants your power play spots, and it's just like always that inside competition. But I think that's what makes the American League such a great league. Like you're just trying to get better every day, pretty much.
After that season in Ontario, you came off with 54 points in 68 games and decided to sign in the Washington Capitals organization. Like, did you have a lot of options at that point? I mean, I'm sure you had a couple teams at least talking to you there.
Yeah. I had a really good season that year, and then I had to part ways with the Kings. I don't think they like. I guess they like me as a player, but I don't think they were offering me an NHL contract, and that's really was the only thing on my mind, because I knew, like, after two and a half years, I saw that like you need the NHL contract to get called up and like you truly have a chance, because there's so many guys on NHL deals throughout the organization that if you don't have one, it's really hard to get called up. So that was, I spoke with my agent and I said I don't even want to hear any offers that's not an NHL contract. And then I had a few offers, and then I think Washington was they were giving me, it's not all about the money, but they were giving me some good money in the American League, and it was a 2-year deal, which was one of the main reasons why I signed there, because I was, throughout my whole pro career, I was on 1-year deal and then 1-year deal, and it's just like that financial security to get 2 years. And then, like, obviously with what happened with COVID, I was, I didn't even have to get a new deal this summer, so I was really happy the way things turned out. But yeah, it was it wasn't a hard decision for me to pick the Caps too. I knew, the Hershey, and they had a really good American League team, so I was going to be on a winning team if I didn't make the Caps. And yeah, it was the best fit for me for sure.
How was your time in Hershey? Like, how did you enjoy that season?
It was good. Obviously, it was, every time you show up to training camp, you want to make the Capitals team, but they had a lot of depth up front, and so I got sent down after training camp, and then it took me a little bit of adjustment at the start of the year. I didn't have a good start, but that's just pretty much what my story is. Every year I start slowly, and then once like Christmas time comes, I start to turn it up. Not that I do it on purpose. It's just how thing goes. But after like 15, 20 games, I started to get in my rhythm and find my spot on the power play. And I at the start of the year, I've been playing with I don't know if you guys saw, but I've been playing with Matt Molson for
I saw that
3 years now, and we were line mates for 2 years in Ontario. And then at the start of the season, he was on a different line, and it's nothing against anything. He was doing his thing, and then after 20 something games, we got paired up together again, and then things clicked right away. And then I had a really good end of the season before everything started to shut down in Hershey. It's a great organization. Like it kind of reminded me of UNB a little bit, just by like seeing like all the the Calder Cups and the winning teams and all that. I know they haven't won since 2010, but you can tell there's like a winning legacy there. And then the fans, there's the ring's almost packed every game, so that gives you an extra boost for sure. But yeah, I really like my time last year in Hershey, and it's been good so far.
Yeah, and your good play was rewarded there at the end of the year when the NHL decided they were going to start back up in the bubbles. You got an invite up to come along with the Caps, and what was that experience like for you being in the bubble with the Capitals? And were there any maybe star-studded moments where you see guys, or maybe just some funny encounters, or what it was like living in the bubble?
Well, I was really happy. Like when everything shut down, they told me like, get ready, you're probably going to go in the bubble. And that was pretty much my first, like beside training camp, it was my first like encounter with the team really. Like, I was going to be around these guys for at least a month, 2 months. So I was really happy about this, and, trying to get as much experience as I can. And, it's obviously when like the Capitals, Washington Capitals, it's Ovechkin, Backstrom, and, they had the whole B in net and Carlson. There's a lot of big names there, and it could be a little bit intimidating at the start, but like once you don't want to do anything wrong, but you realize these guys are such nice guys that, they just want you to, do well, and they wish you the best. So you realize this really quickly, and it was good to see like what's an NHL playoff, mindset, and, how you approach the series and the games. And I mean, it didn't go the way, they were expecting it to go. Just even practicing, like I got a couple practice because, guys get some bumps and bruises during playoffs. And, even at some point I thought maybe I was going to get in, and like, oh my God, I might play my first NHL game in the bubble in the playoffs. Like I wasn't trying to get too nervous, but it didn't happen. I guess I had to wait a couple more months, but yeah, it was definitely, I like to think that it really helped me, moving forward for this season, that to be around these guys for 2 months and, get to know the coaching staff, and the coaching staff get to know me as well. So yeah, I really, really had a good time there.
Yeah. And I know we've talked to a few guys that were in the bubble, and just kind of, obviously it can get boring at times. You're in there away from family, away from friends for a long time. What kind of stuff did you do to pass the time when you're in there?
Well, I brought my Xbox, so I was on the sticks for quite a bit, but we were lucky. So there was 2 hotels in Toronto, and we had the one that was a little bit more outside the city, so you could actually go outside, and we had the big BMO field, the soccer field, so we could go, play some spike ball, watch the games on the big screen there. I mean, when you're in the bubble like this and stuck in a hotel, it's crazy how just getting some fresh air and getting some sun like makes you feel good. Like you just go out there for an hour or two. Even here, like I'm not in a bubble, but like let's say you're in Washington, I'm in a hotel room, and you don't want to go to restaurants, and you don't want to mix up with people, because you could get infected. Well, not infected, but you could get COVID, and obviously you have a responsibility towards your team. So just go for a walk every day. It seems like I'm 70 years old saying this, but it makes your body feel better for sure, and your mind, especially your mind.
Yeah. No, you definitely need that. It's actually funny to hear it, just the 1 hour of sunlight or something, but it's crazy. So we'll talk about kind of what's going on now with Washington. Obviously, we touched on your game earlier on, but did you think heading into this season you were going to make the team, or like knowing there was a taxi squad, you think that was kind of a spot you could make?
Yeah. Well, like I was obviously in my head, I was trying to make the team, but then it was good to see that there was a taxi squad, but I didn't even ended up making the taxi squad. So they sent me down, like by the end of the training camp. It was like a 9 days training camp. So it was, it was a new coach too. And, I understood that he was trying to see his real team as well. And then, I was kind of the odd man out. Let's put it this way. So they sent me down in Hershey, and Lavi told me, I noticed you, and I see that you got some talent, but right now we're gonna go with these guys. And then I just told him, yeah, I'm gonna go down and work as hard as I can, because that's all I know now. I just put my head down and work, and I didn't expect to get called up 2 weeks later, and then I got the call from my coach in Hershey. He told me, yeah, there's a couple injuries, so you're gonna go back to the taxi squad. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'm ready. And then a week later, the way things happened really fast, and then a couple, like I said earlier in the show, a couple injuries, and then guys not feeling well, and then I kind of just pretty much squeezed in for a game. And then I like to think I did a good impression, because like I said in some other interview, usually when people give me my chance, I don't waste it. It's just, I just want a shot, and then they gave it to me, and I like to think I did well, and I'm still here. So
Yeah. No, that actually gets me kind of fired up. Like, I hope you get more games in, man. But I want to know, like, what's it like life on the taxi squad? Because you have to go to every morning skate. You got to be one of the hardest working people, or else someone else is taking your spot. Like, is it really hard on you?
well, I don't think it's hard to, honestly. Like, the way I see it is, I was in the American League 2 weeks ago, so it's obviously a little promotion for me. And like you like, in my head, I just want to play in the NHL. I just want to get games, and I'm not doing myself a favor if I'm sloppy in my practices and I'm not working as hard as I can. Because if I get my chance, and like I did last week, if I'm just being lazy or not focusing on actually getting better and putting the work, then I'm not gonna feel as good as I felt during the NHL game. So it's, you're a pro hockey player, and you have responsibilities, and I like to think that that's what helped me throughout the years. Like, I'm 28 now, and I just get up every day and go to work. And obviously sometimes you're five guys on the ice, and you get back skate, but it doesn't matter. It's your job. So you got to dial it in for 3-4 hours, and then you get to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the right answer. Like, to please any Washington staff,
Yeah,
if they're listening.
it's almost a political answer, but that's the way you got to see it. There's no it's, you could be like, oh my God, I could be with my buddies and be partying or whatever, but it's just not your reality. So there's no point of wasting time and energy of trying to picture another scenario. That's literally the scenario you're in, and try to make the best out of that situation. Because like I said, when I was in junior, even in university, I feel like I probably wasted a couple, not some years, but some moments, some months. And then now I really try to get up every day and make the best out of it. Otherwise I'm just fill my brain with anxiety. So I don't need that anymore.
Yeah, and I know you just mentioned the bag skates. I'd say a little 20-minute bag skate at max is a lot better than a 9-to-5 job every day. So you can't really complain about doing what you love. I mean, a little bag skate, we all hate it, but legs feed the wolf, right? So
yeah, you feel good after. It's just part of the game. If you don't work and bag yourself, you're gonna get tired really quick during those games, because in the NHL, guys are really fast. The play is fast, so you got to be on top of your shape for sure.
Yeah. I have like kind of one more Washington question, then we'll get into some fan stuff. But I mean, you only had the one game so far with the Capitals, but what's it like playing in the empty arena? Like, do you even notice, I guess, in that high intensity environment, or like how did it go for you?
It's hard to tell. Like, once you're on the ice, you're just focusing on the puck and the game. Maybe when you're in the bench and all that, but you can really, like, when you play in front of like thousands and thousands of fans, it's just like it's just a build up, right? Like, when you score a goal, and the building just goes nuts, and you feel yourself going nuts for like a couple minutes, and then that's how like momentum gets created. I feel like maybe there's not as much like momentum changes. It's more like, it's the guys. You play hard. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not because there's no fans that the guys don't play hard. I think, like, I'd like to think the level of hockey is the same. You see highlights, guys score some crazy goals still. You see McDavid around and all that, but it's just like, I feel like the momentum might be a little different because there's no fans, and obviously we miss them. It's not the same, but right now it's that's the situation. We got to make the best out of it.
Yeah. So before we send it over to some fan questions, I just want to give you a chance to kind of plug yourself a bit here. But I know you have C2MG Real Estate. Can we talk about that for a minute and maybe tell me what's that about? You're the co-founder.
Yeah, that's our company back home. Me and my best friend and we're all best friends. We're four guys. Like we grew up together. My best friend is my age. He's 27, and then his little brother and his best friend, and we just kind of grew up together since I'm like 14 years old. So pretty much half my life. We always dreamed to start a company somehow. We didn't even know what we were going to do, and then we just started to get into real estate in 2019, and what we do is, we bought our first residential building, and we lease it to people, and yeah, it's fun. I really like business. I like to read about it, and same with my buddies, and they're all back home, so the business is back home. But yeah, I wish I had more time during the season to work on it with them. But in the summer, like we get together and toss some ideas, and like obviously we were working on some things. I don't want to talk about it once it's not made, but once the big project is out, I'll get back and we'll talk about it for sure. But yeah, so it's just something to, like, as for me, it's something to set up my retirement at some point too, because I'm going to be a hockey player till I'm 35, maybe 40. I don't know how long I'm going to play the game, but it's important for me to have something to fall off on. And yeah, so we're just trying to grow the company as much as we can right now, and it's a good time to do it for sure. Once we're like, I don't have kids right now. My money is just mine, so I try to invest and put it on the side as much as I can right now.
Yeah, maybe after the episode, me and Rask can sign like an NDA and we can hear about the big plans off the record. But for now, we'll keep it at that. But a few fan questions for you. We had a bunch, few school related ones. A lot of people interested in what that route was like, as you kind of already touched on. But something that I was wondering myself too, but a fan question. Did you ever kind of doubt yourself when you went to UMB? I know you said you played with a chip on your shoulder against those AHL guys who you might have been better than, that got the contract and whatnot at that time. Did you doubt that you wouldn't make it to the NHL one day?
Not that I doubted. Maybe it's just something that wasn't on my mind anymore. Like I was just not. I didn't go to UNB to be in the NHL. Let's put it this way. But with the years, it's funny because you say this, because when I was to UNB, for probably 2 or 3 years, I didn't even watch a hockey game. Like maybe it was because it hurt too much to watch guys that I was competing against, and I had the same stats as that, that was in the NHL, and I wasn't, and it could have been the jealous thing, or I don't know what it was, but I didn't have interest in watching NHL games when I was at UNB. And then by like my third, fourth year, I was getting some AHL, echoes and all that. So that's probably when I was like, okay, well, there's something to do with this. And that's probably when I started, believing again. It's not that I had given up or anything, but it's just, it felt pretty far from reality, really. And then once my fourth year, I trained really hard that summer before training camp, and then I pretty much got in one of the best shape of my life. Well, now obviously it's different because I was getting ready for NHL, but as a college, training, it was really solid, and the results were there. And yeah, that's when my fourth year, that's when I was like, okay, this is do or die, and I got to get that thing going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. Got to make a last minute push there, and you delivered. And we got a question here from a New Brunswick native. They kind of just want to know, I think they're a little bit younger, but some good UNB stories, if you have any over your 4 years that you'd like to tell.
Some good UNB stories.
Or we'll go with one if you got one that in particular.
It's a good question. Well, there's obviously some party stories that I'm not
Yeah,
gonna share.
whenever we ask something like this, it's like any of the good stories you can't say.
But yeah, no, we had a really good crew at UNB. There's just a funny story. We were my before my fourth year, we were five like we were five really really good buddies, and we were pretty much inseparable. And we were three living in one house and two in the other, but we ended up always being together. And then we had to tell our coach at the start of the fourth year that we were moving in a big house downtown, and he was like, no, you guys are not. And we're like, well, yeah, we signed the lease already, like we're doing it. And he was like he took everything for him to accept it. But I mean, we ended up winning the national championship. I don't even know if we went through the whole lease and might have got kicked out of that house, but because I was gone. But it was yeah, it was definitely a good fourth year. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, so a lot of fun that yeah, we can't talk
I
about
mean,
on
yeah, it's college, and it's like winning makes everything better.
Yeah.
So it's just I feel like you can get away with a lot more when you
Yeah.
legal part, just like you can buy your coach, if you win, then he's not going to get into your face as much because you deliver.
And it's also like Fredericton's a fun city. Just even being there for those like 8-9 days, and we lost in the first game, so every night was a party. And there's some good bars, like you got the microbreweries and stuff. Like there's a lot to do, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's a good campus for sure.
yeah, beautiful campus. Like it's just a fun place to live and go to school. So I could imagine. I mean, it's tough that we can't share those stories, but I mean, I can imagine there's a lot.
Yeah, my mom might be listening, so
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And then we kind of already touched on it. I know you said it's great to get some fresh air and whatnot, but COVID protocols in the NHL right now, obviously you're traveling with the team and fully into it. So what is it like, maybe like on the plane, and just all the travel and everything that goes into creating this season and having it run successfully?
yeah. Well, there's a lot of, like, once you're at the rink, you got to wear your mask and like social distancing and all, even travels. Well, in the NHL, when you travel, you have your own plane, so it's, you're not, you don't get through airports and all that. So they try to keep you away as much as possible and keep you isolated. But I think it's more about what you do off the ice. Like, you have the responsibility to, not get into the mix. And it really matters. It really depends on what you do outside the ice, because those protocols are really, are really there to protect you and protect the people around you. And I think that's a good thing. You can tell they put a lot of thoughts into it. And you get memos every week, and changing this and changing that, and they're trying to update it as much as they can. And there's a lot of thing on the line. There's a season on the line, and there's a lot of games. So it's tough. It's tough mentally sometimes. You get tested every day, and but at some point it just becomes part of your daily routine. You get up, go get tested, and then do your thing. But yeah, it's definitely a new challenge. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, and it's definitely it's a sacrifice for all you guys. I mean, going away from your families and stuff, and just not being able to have them come in, watch games or anything like that. But it's definitely something that's paying off, as you guys are running a smooth season so far with only a few postponements. But other than that, we got a few more here. We get this one a lot, pretty much every week. So what stick and curve do you use? Like what specs on your stick?
Boy, I'm the wrong guy to ask this, but so I use a P92. It's Sakic.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've been using that curve since I'm midget, and then I use 75 flex. But I get my stick. I cut probably like 6 inches off of it, so I don't know, might become an 85.
Yeah.
I just rocked the CCM Ripcore, the new. Is it Ripcore still?
Yeah, it's ripcore. He
The
sounds
trigger
he's
or
like
whatever, right?
he's like Lappy, man.
Yeah.
The French Canadians don't pay attention to their sticks at all. They just use what they're given and
Yeah.
make do.
Lappy didn't even know what stick he had when we asked him last week.
Well, it's funny, yeah, because I was in contact with the CCM rep this summer, and we were trying to figure out a good stick for me, and we realized I was using like a 2017 Ripcore that was just like they were just changing the graphics on it, and the blade was way heavier than what I'm using now. So when I first started using those new sticks, I was shooting. I couldn't even control my shot really. I was just shooting everywhere because the kick point was different and all that. But now they're obviously great sticks. So I'm happy with what I'm using right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And then talking about curves and stuff, I know Ovi is regarded as one of the biggest curves in the league and always has been. And you got any funny stories since you've been there with the Caps and been around Ovi and all the guys? Any funny stories on Ovi?
I mean, he's a great guy. He's been I was probably 14 when he first started to be in the NHL, and I remember I had his jersey, and it's pretty crazy to be around a legend like this guy. Like even I don't know how many sticks he gets through, but there's got to be 50 sticks in his stall, and I'm just like, just got my 3 like taped up, and when one breaks, I just cut a new one, and I'm fine with that. But when you're a great shooter like him, you go through a lot more than me for sure. So I was just trying to see and look around, and he's got the yellow laces, and there's like a big box of yellow laces, but he's the only one that uses them. So it's just funny to you're like, should I try him? And there's just no way I'm doing it. This is his thing, and he looks great in it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, you walk in there, I'm sure if you see Ovi, you're just like, yeah, this guy's showtime. He knows what he's doing. And I guess that's obviously why he's been regarded as one of the best players in the world for a long time now. And then just within the Caps organization again, and within the room, anyone on your team in Washington have any weird warm-up superstitions or handshakes with buddies?
Well, I haven't been on the team
Yeah,
or
sure.
like that much, but you can see like you can see on social media, you get the Oshie and Wilson just slaps, and there's so many handshakes going on before the game, but I don't know. Some guys would scream into each other's face, but I don't think these are allowed anymore with protocol but yeah, it's when you've been in the league for so long, you gotta find ways to change it up and make it fun, I guess. Like for me right now, I'm just trying to focus on what I have to do, and hopefully one day I'll get as comfortable as these guys are.
Yeah, work now and then be able to do whatever you want later and have a lot of fun down the road. But no, that does it for our fan questions. I know Raskin's going to talk about Axel Watch is here. We're going to be sending you one. So, or I guess I can take it. I guess I'm kind of spewing about it now. But yeah, no, Axel Watch is our presenting sponsor, is going to be sending you a watch down to Washington, one of your choice. And from us, it just really wraps it up. And we really want to say thank you for coming on, and we wish you all the best and hope you can get in some more games here soon.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, boys. I mean, you got some great questions, and you got a good thing going on for sure. So keep it up, and keep growing your thing.
Appreciate it, man. That was a lot of fun. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, thanks to Phil for that. That was an awesome interview, and definitely a very interesting one, hearing about his path and going to Usports. And actually, Cards, he talks about how he wishes he took classes while he was playing junior, and obviously you're doing that now. So shout out to you, and something that I think personally as a Usports general manager, I think all these players should be doing, because you never know what's going to happen, man.
Yeah, and I'm definitely a procrastinator, so I'm doing it, but at a slower pace. But you know what? On the end date, the work will be handed in, and I'll be moving up a grade in life. So I mean, I'm gonna get it done. But yeah, no, it's super important. I think it's really cool to hear how he kind of I don't know, you go to Usports, you kind of think like, I'm going there, going to get my education. That's first priority. And then hockey, I still get to play at a high level. And you're just kind of setting yourself up for a job down the road with your education. And but for Phil, it was a lot different. He continued with his hockey dreams after school, and look at him today in the NHL. So definitely big dreams can pay off. And that's kind of what happened, as he just kept working at it.
Yeah, I just never quit. Like, it's an inspiring story. And actually, just quick Usports plug, but 3 Usports goalies, Usports alumni goalies, made their AHL debuts and got AHL wins this week. So shout out to Usports for developing some good AHL talent, maybe some more NHLers on the way. But anyway, I want to announce the winner of the Axel Watch giveaway. So the winner is Liam Hogvist, maybe one of your fellow countrymen in Sweden, Hogvist. And Axel will be reaching out to you, Liam, via email. Next week, we're going to be doing another giveaway as well, so stay tuned for that. And we have a new promo code for our listeners. Now you can use the code AX_Showbound. That's AX_Showbound for 15% off at axelwatch.com. So if you're not Liam and didn't win, check that out and maybe get yourself a nice Axel Watch for a delayed Valentine's Day gift for yourself, maybe, and you'll be looking good.
Yeah, and I mean, this just goes to show you, like, listeners, just stay tuned. We're not really going to announce it on social media or anything. So these draws that we might do could happen whenever. So just always be watching and definitely give it a listen every week. And you could definitely get yourself in a chance to win some nice things.
Yeah, it's nice to reward our listeners, and maybe we'll do some more stuff with our own merch. I know I got a couple of hats and we can get some hoodies going. And anyway, we'll talk about The Bachelor. I just want to say I wrote a couple notes, but the first note was I said good episode. So I think it was a good one. What do you think?
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. Matt kind of he knows what he's doing now. He's a man on a mission. He's just, like we said last week, he was dangling a rose in that girl's face and just said, see you later.
He did it again this week, though.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's an animal, but no, he seems to know. And it'll be interesting to see here how these hometowns go. And then from there, but my pick stands strong with Rachel. How are you? What are your thoughts?
I noted down predictions. Like, I thought I was going to think of a good one on the spot, but I just don't know, man. Like, there's not one that I'm not sure. Okay, I was going to say Kit, but then she pulls this kind of strong move and broke up with Matt there. This is tough. I want to say
this is actually funny, you just stuttering around.
Nah, dude, I don't know, man. I'm not confident in any of them. Like, the when they foreshadowed the hometowns, all of them were just like, yeah, I'm not ready. Did you see that? They were all like, I can't do this. Freaking out.
Yeah, I know, but like we talked about before, I feel like they cut and paste so much stuff with where things are actually said and whatnot.
Yeah.
So those could have been like 7 different clips, and they just like taken like the words "I'm not ready" and put them all together. Like, it's a bit absurd what they do with that, but no, I get it. Like,
I'm just gonna go soft and say Rachel too. Like,
okay,
I'll go Rachel for now. I did want to say my girl Abigail, who I said in the first episode was my future pick to win, like right off the bat, the one who got the first impression rose. She kind of got screwed by Matt this whole time. Like, didn't really have any chance to get to know him at all.
Yeah, that was a tough one for sure. It's just like a little blind side. She thought she had a chance, first impression rose, and then just like, see ya.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, it's been a long episode. We don't need to drag it out, but toss it to you, Cards, for the outro as usual.
Yeah, no, just another great week to be at it. Hopefully the sun's shining and we all have big smiles on our face, and let's enjoy this week, and we'll see you here next Wednesday. We appreciate all the love and support. See you guys.